got polls, baby.
The positive music. We haven't even gone 4 seconds without the topic of polls being brought up. But you know what that means? It means we are live. We're talking fist fighting, and apparently there will be multiple polls involved in the next 30 minutes or so as we get you ready for UFC Vegas 50. It's the People's Pre-Fight Show here on MMAfighting.com. We got a whole crew here, and apparently my son and his friends decided that was a great time to come into the friggin' house. But anyways, I am Mike Heck. We got A.K. Lee, the Prince of Polls, the Prince of Positivity. Shush!
Hashtag keep the martial arts apart. Keep the martial arts apart. Gary Tonin might still be alive if we kept the martial arts apart.
That's a good point.
Too soon. Too soon.
Too soon? Oh, that was too soon. Oh, sorry. Too soon.
AK, that's
Too
the
soon.
best. God, I
Keep
love
the martial
you.
arts apart.
The laughter you hear is from the voice of Jed Meshew. Hello, Jed.
That was what a strong start to today, boys. Just tremendous. Poor Gary Tonin. We hardly knew ye.
God, this is chaos already. And we got E. Casey Leydon on the ones and twos, a week away from his big fight. He is on a poster. He's about to mix those martial arts in Cali. How are you, my man?
Good. Just got done training for about 2 hours, mixing the martial arts, and now I'm here. I'm all still kind of sweaty, covered in hopefully not staph, but I'm good. I'm good. Everything's good. No cuts,
right.
no significant
not.
injuries. Yeah.
Let's get into this thing. This is the People's Pre-Fight Show. Those who are familiar know how this works. If you are new to the show, we just answer your questions. We get your thoughts, and if your thoughts are great, we'll agree with you. And if your thoughts are terrible, we will disagree with you, and we'll let you have it here. So, AK, what is this poll? Let's just announce the poll.
Oh, it is what slumping UFC Vegas 50 fighter needs to win the most? Obviously, in the headliner, Thiago Santos, and the co-main event, Marlon Moraes, and then Miranda Maverick and Sabina Mazo, both on 2 fight losing streaks. I don't think either really in danger of being released, but a third straight loss, obviously, not ideal. So Marlon Moraes with the early lead. I think most people are thinking this could be the last fight of his UFC career, because it'll be 4 straight, I think, if he loses now. So that'll be and that's at 57%. But early votes, that's early returns. Plenty of time to vote.
Is Drew Dober in that poll, or did he?
I was gonna
did he
say,
avoid the poll?
where's Drew?
How many has he dropped? 2?
2 in a
2.
row.
Yeah, he'd be up there. I probably should have put him in there, but I have a feeling he won't be released. I don't think he's in danger. I think they like him a
Probably
lot.
right.
Why would he not be released compared to, say, like Marlon Moraes, who's only lost to like top 5 fighters, pretty much?
He costs less
Marlon
money.
Moraes
He costs
makes
less
a lot
money,
more
probably.
money.
Yeah.
It's essentially just a money thing. It's not. So
That's
we're
part
talking
of
about Marlon Moraes. We're not talking about his qualities as a fighter. It's strictly how much he makes.
Yeah. Well,
We assume he makes.
And look
And
at
also,
Drew
it
Dober's
just-
chin line. Like, look
Sure.
at that profile from Drew Dober.
He's very
You can't cut a
marketable.
man with that strong of a chin.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
Yeah, and again,
true.
four straight is a lot, regardless of who you're fighting. Four straight's a lot. They can still keep you around. We had people who are on 4 fight losing streaks who are still around in the UFC who are much lower ranked than Marlon Moraes. So it's possible. I just think like 4 straight.
and lost
I
to
don't know,
much
they'll reevaluate
lesser
it.
competition. Yeah, I understand.
It'll also depend, right? Because, like, I don't want to speak for everybody. I think if Moraes loses, he's getting KO'd probably violently. And 4 KO losses in a row, like, that is definitely worse than, even if it's to the top level opposition. Like, that's bad. It's not a good look.
See, I've always had a weird thing about that. Like, is it worse to lose big or is it worse to lose boring?
I don't know. It's a good question.
You know what I mean?
It's probably it's worse to lose repeatedly big because the narrative becomes, hey, this dude's chin is gone, and that's like a whole different conversation, I would argue. Whereas if you lose boring, honestly, it's probably just more forgettable that you've lost a bunch because you're boring.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm willing to believe the
Let's
other
go.
way there. Frankly. That's
To the
just an
questions?
argument.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Let's go to the
here we go.
peeps.
Here we go.
Yes, we got this UFC card. There's a Bellator card too, if you had a Bellator question. If you can make one cross-promotion fight out of the UFC card tonight and the Bellator card tonight, who would it be and why? He likes Davis versus Ankalaev. That is such a Bellator fight. I mean, that is the definition of a Bellator fight. AK, what's your cross promotion fight? This is a great question, by the way.
That is good. Give me. I'll go. I mean, I think that's a great answer. Give me Mads Burnell and Alex Caceres. I'm just gonna throw. I just think that'd be a really fun fight. I gotta let people know. I have Mads Burnell in the top 15 of my personal rankings, the rankings that we all sort of compile for the MMA Fighting Global rankings. I think I'm the only one who has him ranked. I'm just a fan of his. He's someone who I felt like could still be in the UFC. Not that determines how good he is. Yeah, I mean, he has a really A+ skill. He's a great grappler. And he's just been winning a hell of a lot of fights. I mean, since parting ways with the UFC. So I like him a lot. And I think I should say Caceres or Sadiq Youssef. Like I would have him match up with the winner of that fight because I am picking Youssef to beat Caceres, though I think it's a closer fight than the odds suggest. I think Youssef's a pretty decent favorite. But I think that's gonna be a close fight. So whoever won that fight, I'd love to see them fight Mads Burnell. Obviously, I'm picking Mads Burnell to beat Adam Borge.
Jed?
I mean, that's not a bad choice. It depends, I guess, what I'm going for. If I'm going for, I think the one that I would do above all is give me Johnny Eblen versus Bruno Silva. That fight, it will not be nearly as fun, frankly, as the Pereira Silva fight, but I'm just really interested in Eblen as a prospect, and I think Silva would be like a really interesting test for him in that way. Can grapple, can strike out that, but there's also a little baby part of me that's thinking JJ Wilson. JJ Wilson versus either, frankly, McKinney or Dober is certainly a more fun fight than the Eblen Silva, but I think on the merits, give me Eblen Bruno Silva. Great question.
What do you think, Casey? What do you think?
Actually, I was gonna say McKinney Wilson too. I like the two prospects.
That'd be a scrap.
That'd be a scrap. Because I just don't. Both of them seem very good fighters. I just don't know how good. We're gonna find out a lot about McKinney tonight, I think. But another quick question, Bellator: is Phil Davis the best lightweight fighting today?
He's not a lightweight.
I'm sorry, light heavyweight. Light heavyweight. Light heavyweight. You know what I mean? Light heavyweight.
Probably.
Like this calendar date.
Yeah, this calendar date.
He has an argument for it.
Yeah.
I think I would pick Ankalaev over him in a fight, but I wouldn't feel like massively confident that Phil Davis couldn't squeak out a decision.
Yeah. Okay.
My pick is I'm gonna go different. Roman Feraldo versus Matthew Semmelsberger. That is just chaos.
30 seconds knocking out either way. Someone's getting knocked out. This fight's not going past a minute.
The fight's lasting a minute. It's going to end in spectacular fashion.
All right.
Good question. What a way to start.
Going for some low-hanging fruit right now, but here we go.
Is this Is this his toughest test, Jed?
I'm going to try.
Is that a poll question?
It should be. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we were talking about it before we kicked tires on this, but I think you guys feel a lot better about Marlon Moraes than I do. I still think this is the biggest test for him. I mean, I don't know. Kyler Phillips, I also feel very good about as a prospect, but those are different kinds of fights. I mean, we can get into the Marlon Moraes conversation if y'all want to, because I think Casey in particular is feeling real strong about where Marlon is as a fighter. And I'm not sure that Marlon's good anymore. I think there's a real chance he is straight washed. And sure, he's lost to top opposition, but I haven't liked a lot of the look of those fights.
Did you not like? What did you think about the Merab fight though with Marlon?
I thought that.
Granted, if that fight was stopped, if the ref would have stopped it, none of us would be talking about this. Yeah. Yeah,
and that's where I have the pause with Marlon, because I felt this way coming into the Merab fight. I was like, Marlon might be a straight wash. I don't love what I see, and he came out so strong and almost took out Valashvili. I was like, oh, maybe Marlon just has it. He just had a bad run or got it together, and then that was it. He shot it all, couldn't get there, and that's the thing. And I think that's where I feel Marlon is probably as a fighter. And we're gonna see, but I think he still is capable of these heights of extreme violence and aggression. but he doesn't have he never has had a great gas tank. And he's really, to me, it feels like he might really be entering a stage of full glass cannon hood where he can come out and do the damn thing within 7 minutes, a la Conor McGregor. Great, but if you're able to weather that or recognize that that's coming, then you can crack back at him. And I do think his chin is fading. I'm not willing to call it shot, but he's getting hurt with shots that I don't think necessarily would have hurt him in his younger years. And I have a lot of questions about that against Song Yadong, who I think very highly of.
Yeah, I like Song Yadong a lot too, but so for me, I actually agree with everything you said. The only thing is, I don't know. Song Yadong he hasn't faced anyone as dangerous in that first round that is capable of that opening burst of offense that Marlon Moraes is. This is a big test. I think this is a huge step up for him. So to answer the question, this is, I think, by far his biggest test. I was very encouraged by sort of what to me, the Merab loss said more to me about how good Merab is necessarily than how washed Marlon Moraes is. I also thought Marlon Moraes fairly won the Jose Aldo fight. I know that's controversial. I mean, it was super close.
Get out of here. Get off the program.
It wasn't it was not a robbery.
It was a competitive fight that couldn't have gone either way, and I'm okay with Marlon winning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jose Aldo won that fight because Jose Aldo's the GOAT. Get off the program. Boo.
Oh, Jose Aldo, listen, no one's disputing that. But that fight was I think people calling that a robbery was so off base. I think people need to watch the fight again and they'll realize how close it was. So that to me, that doesn't take away from his performance either. And then we're looking at losses to Rob Font, who I think is very good, and Corey Sandhagen, who's one of the three best 135ers in the world probably. So I am picking Moraes to win again, and this is just because I don't think Song is quite at that level yet. I just need to. But again, I said the same thing, by the way, about Barbosa and Mitchell last week. I said I need to see Mitchell beat a top 10 veteran guy, and he destroyed Barbosa. So this is almost this. I'm taking this from the same angle. I need to see Song beat a top 10 or I guess top 12 veteran guy, and if he does, completely changes my view of Song and how I'll pick his next fight. Obviously,
Marlon does kind of feel like the bantamweight Edson Barboza a little bit. Kind of.
He actually feels like that a lot.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Mr.
Listen. No, I think I don't know. I was encouraged by the Merab fight, but then I was discouraged with Marlon's approach once he had Merab hurt. If he just was a little more patient, just a tinge more patient, just step back, let Merab stand up, and then you just kicked him in the face, he would have won the fight. But instead he went for the kill. And again, any other referee, maybe the fight just stopped. But if you exercise just a little bit of patience, a little bit of smarts, a little bit of intelligence in those moments, he probably wins that fight every single time. But didn't happen. Here we are, and Marlon just completely gassed out. And that's I am more concerned about the gas tank. I think everybody does, more than the actual chin. I think Marlon is super legit. But again, we're at this point where you can look at the resume, you can look at his Tapology page, you could say, yes, he's lost to the best of the best in this division. But if he goes out there and loses to Song Yadong, we can't have that. I mean, Song's very good, and he's got a very high ceiling. He's not there yet. He's probably a fringe top 15 guy right now, which in this division is really good. I mean, that's really, really good. But I don't know. This is a must win for him. He has to win this fight. Has to win.
Speaking of the Tapology, just because I want to poke the bear, just like old baby bit. If you look at his resume, he doesn't have that many good wins. I'm not saying he doesn't have them, but really, he has functionally a 4-fight win streak that encapsulates why we, at one point, a lot of people, probably some of the people on this call included, thought he was the best bantamweight in the world. The run of split D over Dodson, Aljamain Sterling KO knee, Jimmy Rivera, Rafael Assunção, that was the run that turned him into Marlon Moraes, his UFC run.
All those guys were top 10, top 5 at the time.
They were all ranked when he beat them.
Highly
ranked.
Again, my point being, one, I think all of those feel a little worse in hindsight. At the time, they were certainly amazing. I'm not saying they're bad wins now.
Sterling looks worse in hindsight?
What? Oh, the Sterling one, I don't. That win is better, probably, I guess, overall, but that was just a knee that he was trying to throw a high kick and landed a knee to the head. It was sort of odd and not entirely designed. Again, he threw it. It's intentional. he gets the credit. I think there's a way to view that as not instructive of him being this world-beating badass of top 5 form. The point I'm trying to drive at here, though, isn't to run over his record, but to say, what if Marlon Moraes is just a fun action fighter, a bit of a glass cannon fun guy who happened to put together a really good run? Because, like, honestly, that's what Conor McGregor is. Like, Conor McGregor just put together a really good run, but he has been fundamentally the same fighter the whole time. People just adjusted to him, and then he started taking L's a lot more when you figured that out. I think there is an argument to be made. I'm saying that Moraes is a good fighter, but he's not like, this guy's perennially a top 15. He has a lot of offense, not a ton of defense, and happened to put together a really good run that moved him to the top of the division. But that's over, and now he's going to be much more mid-level.
Yeah, but the problem is you can say that about, like, you can say that, well, no, hold on. I completely disagree with that entire premise, because you can say that you can say that about like literally any fighter that reaches like has a run in the UFC and then reaches their 30s and hits a slump. Like, there's so many guys like that. I don't think we need to retroactively go like, oh, was he ever that good? You can't, but you can do that with anybody. I don't think like we need to. I don't think we need to single out Marlon for that. Like, if you want to nitpick resumes, we can just do that with so many guys.
I'm only singling him out because we're talking about him right now. It's not like Marlon Moraes.
Yeah,
what a poser. It's just like,
but I'm saying
Marlon's fighting, and we're trying to contextualize him against.
We can do that about Thiago.
Whatever.
We can do that about Thiago Santos. We can do that about.
I think we super can do that about Thiago Santos.
I think we're in agreement on that on Thiago Santos. He had a great run, but I don't consider him like a permanent top 5 guy for the next.
That's the thing. I think those two men are in very similar categories. Like, honestly. And we won't know. You know, if he goes out here and kills Song Yadong, I'm wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of things. I thought Rob Font was the best bantamweight in the world. Hand up. I was wrong. But, you know, I think that's a reasonable read on what has happened in his career. And so when we're talking about Song has never fought a guy like Marlon or a guy as good as Marlon, it's probably true, but I don't think it's as true as everybody implicitly is understanding it to be.
We will see tonight.
This is a larger debate. Yeah, I don't concede this just because, again, there's just so many fighters we could go into this about. So it's a larger debate.
I don't think there's a right or wrong here.
This is probably the most interesting fight of the entire weekend. This is the most interesting fight of the weekend, in my opinion.
For the last few fight nights, we've been
probably the biggest stakes.
Yeah.
For the last few fight nights, we've been complaining a lot about, well, I have at least, about card placement, where the fights are placed on the card. I actually think, I'm looking at this card, I think this card is actually lined up very well. A true main event, a true co-main event, and then everything else makes sense.
Hard agree.
Yep.
Yeah,
the main card is. I would maybe quibble with the Sadiq Youssef, Alex Caceres placement in the main card, but I think those 6 fights I think you're spot on, Casey.
Yeah. You would want it higher, or do you think it should be opener, like the main card opener?
I think that should be a little lower, because I think the main and co are dead on. I think Caceres is on a 5-5 win streak, which I did not realize until someone pointed that out to me yesterday. Which is kind of shocking, but like, I would like to see Dober McKinney slightly higher.
Yeah, that's one of the higher, yeah.
Like, I maybe swap those two or just move Dober in front of it and bounce Khalil Roundtree Roberson, but that's really small nitpicking stuff.
Yeah. All right, what else we got?
Let's talk a little bit about last night.
Oh, God. Thoughts on Kevin Lee versus Sanchez? I mean, Jed and I talked about, we did a Twitter Spaces, and I think everybody was in agreement with us. Like, yeah, it does suck. Kevin Lee got hurt. But
is the injury, is it public? Was it an ACL? I mean, I watched.
He jacked his knee up. He said he jacked his knee up. I'm certain we don't have an official answer on whether he tore his ACL, because he would have had to
Diego,
get today.
Yeah, he's saying that Diego landed the first kick, and it was a hard leg kick, and his knee tore right there in that on the first kick of the fight.
Would explain that fight a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, we'll take the knee into consideration for sure, but
you have to.
And if that's the case, if his knee is torn, if Kevin Lee's knee is torn, man, I mean, talk about bad luck. This guy has gone through a lot of ACL recoveries, I mean, just a ton of them. It's insane, but not a great fight. It's not one I'll go back and ever watch again. But he won. Diego didn't get badly hurt, so I guess. I mean, Kevin kind of did, but I guess like all things, I think the biggest concern we had was Diego and his health and how he would handle it. And Diego came out like, feeling like he could fight 2 more times and he's got some energy to him. He didn't look all that great last night, and he didn't get badly hurt. So all things considered,
I saw that man's face. His face looked pretty dang messed up. I mean, I know maybe he didn't like break any bones,
his face than Kevin Lee's
Ray
knee.
Borg's. I'd rather have Ray Borg's face than Diego's face over Ray Borg's face. Ray Borg, God.
That also for
Ray
sure.
Borg.
How was that
busted
fight?
up last night.
That was another
It was a
question.
pretty fun scrap.
I thought Ricky won. I wouldn't say it's a robbery, but I will also say that I didn't watch the fight like incredibly close.
Yeah.
I just watched maybe the last half of the fight, and the entire last half of the fight, Ricky was piecing Ray Borg up bad for the last like
we were
7.5
vibing on
minutes
Twitter
of the fight.
Spaces, man. Join
We
the
were.
Twitter Spaces community because we talked about it there. Like, I thought Bandejas won, but I was not watching that fight incredibly closely, so I'm in no way willing to call that a robbery. I know our own Damon Martin scored it for Borg, and I trust his judgment largely, so I think it's not a robbery, certainly, if Damon thinks Borg got it.
And just for the first question about the least, I wish we had Dr. Joe Rogan on the commentary because he would have been, how he is. He would have seen like Kevin Lee slightly limping and be like, yeah, that's ACL. Yeah, he tore his ACL. That's great. Grade 2. Grade 2. And he'd just be going on about it for the next like 10 minutes. Like, if only we had Dr. Joe Rogan on the call, he would have diagnosed it with his amazing supervision.
How was the commentary last night?
I didn't hear one bit of it.
Mike?
It was awesome. I mean, it was awesome in like the worst possible way.
I saw people tweeting
how did
about
Uncle Chael do it,
Mexicum. Why were people tweeting about Mexicum? What was that about?
There's this pronunciation.
Sounds like something Henry Cejudo said.
Yeah, Cejudo was everything we thought it would be and more. It was like buying a Toyota in the 90s. That's what Henry Cejudo was. Like everything you expected and then some. Very reliable. Like we knew going in what we were going to get, and we actually got better than that. I will say Henry Cejudo trying to announce Khabib's name was fun. Chael trying to pronounce Joanna Jędrzejczyk's name was even more fun. So if you want to go back and watch some stuff, that's some fun stuff. But Chael did a good job. Listen, Chael brings that energy. I just think like the personalities. I think Cyrus Feast does a fine job. Chael's in there being, and then you got Cejudo in there just being Cejudo. Usman coming in kind of like evens things out a little bit because I think Kamaru is tremendous in that role. Like he's so good at color commentary. The guy could do it all. But yeah, it's interesting. Cejudo just the post-fight interviews, man. It's just so Casey, I don't know if you watched the card, but what they were doing was Cejudo would interview the loser of the fight first and then interview the winners.
I thought that was just from I only saw the main event, so I saw that for the main event. I thought that was like I don't know what happened. I thought maybe they were doing that like with Diego was retiring, so I thought that's why they were going to Diego first. But then it was just like it was funny. I had a friend over. I was like, ooh, watch this. He's gonna say something crazy. And Diego was actually kind of normal and kind of like realistic about what happened tonight. It was actually I was like, oh, that was kind of okay. Sorry, that was actually kind of sane and normal, honestly, from Diego.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Lee did that weird thing with Khabib talking to the cage, and I just didn't know what was going on, to be honest. What were they?
Get me somebody, let me fight for the title. That's basically what it was.
Oh, okay. It was just.
You'd already fought for the title. It's very stupid that fight last night wasn't for the title. It's dumb.
Yep, completely agree. Just a weird night, but I mean the fights were good. Fights were pretty good.
Fun,
Main event was probably. Yeah, the main event was probably like the worst fight of the night. Like, and it wasn't a bad fight. It was probably the worst fight of the night. Yeah.
You know what else was fun? Really just very quickly. One championship was dope, and we talked about it on Thursday. And you were
right.
Like I think you mocked me. Somebody mocked me. Maybe it was Damon, but
yeah, it wasn't me.
Yeah, that sounds like
I'm the eject.
That fight night, that event was dope. So that was violence incarnate. So get at me. Don Lee killed a guy. John Lineker killed a guy. Martin Wayne killed a guy. A lot of killed people. It's great.
A lot of government-sanctioned violence in Singapore. It was good. It was good.
There was
Lots
like
of it.
one decision on the card or something. It was insane. The card was awesome.
I think 9 finishes in a row. I think that's how the card ended. 9 finishes in a
And,
row.
like violent,
That's what you want
violent
when you-
finishes, not just
They were like all in the first round too. It was insane. The card was awesome.
I know this is a bit of a post fight question, but I think this gentleman could be the biggest star tonight.
What happens to Terrence McKinney if he lands another awesome KO? He'll probably be on Ariel's show again.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it again.
That's certainly
Bring him
true.
back. Regular segment.
I mean, that's a big win for him, man. Like, I don't see it going this way. Like, I mean, I could see a world where Terrence just goes out there with like, dude, I got nothing to lose here. I'm fighting this guy who's been in the top 15 quite a bit.
Handsome man
in his run. This handsome dude, and we can
How
just
you
go in
knock
there
out
and just
that
trade
chin?
bombs. Yeah, I mean, we could just go in there and trade bombs and have some fun, and we'll swing till the first one falls. Like, he could certainly do that, but I think Terrence's path to victory is just taking him down over and over again. Like, that's how you win. I mean, just watch the Brad Riddell fight. Did anyone expect Brad Riddell to win? I mean, the fight was awesome, but Brad Riddell won it because he out-grappled Drew Dober. Like, not a lot of people saw that coming.
New Zealand kickboxer turned D1 wrestler, Brad Riddell.
Exactly. So Terrence could do that all day long.
Listen, I like the idea that he'll show up in the MMA hour again, but I'll throw out this: if he gets a KO, he's showing up on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, that's actually definitely true.
He
He gets like a highlight reel KO.
He got what he did, like wrote an opinion piece that got published, right, about defending Joe Rogan. And by the way, guys, obviously I'm not saying I agree with Terrence McKinney or with Joe Rogan. Any of that. I think Newsweek. Thank you, Mike. And I think it's pretty obvious I'm not a Joe Rogan fan, but I'll tell you, he's getting a name in the UFC. I don't know if he's met Joe and if him and Joe are actually friends or anything, but I think Joe Rogan will probably be a fan. If he isn't already a fan of Terrence McKinney, he was definitely a fan after that article, and will be a fan if he gets 3-0 in the UFC, 3 first-round finishes maybe. So sorry. So Ariel, we love you, but he might be busy this week, or he might do both. Maybe the first person ever to do MMA and JRE. I don't know.
Mike, let's get him on BTL. I need fresh blood to defend my belt against. Let's get Terrence McKinney on there.
There is a fighter who wants an opportunity, so I'll leave it at that. It might not be as easy as it might not be as easy as it once was, but I might just do it anyways, even if it might piss off a certain manager. But we'll leave it at that.
Can I be mean to the fighter?
I mean, he'll probably give it back to you. I think so.
Yeah.
I will say that this fighter, this fighter was going to come on when Brian Kelleher came on, but he didn't get back to me in time, so Kelleher came on instead. He was the first guy I asked because after he got his recent win, he said, I want to be on the broadcast. Like, get me on the desk. And I said, I have an opportunity for you to practice a little bit. Practice those chops of being on the desk. Why don't you come on this show? And I'm sure you will.
I'll teach him some things.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right.
Be big for him. Be a big win for him. This is that true test.
Do we think he gets a top 15 guy next? Like
McKinney?
Diego Ferreira or
Is it?
like he should, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Especially if it's an impressive, finish.
Yeah, if he gets a highlight KO, he gets like Brad Riddell or somebody at the back end of the UFC's 15.
Yep. Drew Dober's top 20 guy.
He could get high. He could get like Gillespie or something. Maybe that is back end. I'm not sure.
I think Gillespie's 10,
Yeah,
9.
that would be. Yeah, I know Gillespie was
Nine.
Ferguson,
Gillespie's
but
9. Yeah, 9. Yeah.
so
Connor is still
That'd
ranked.
be big.
Oh,
Or you get Marmon. I mean, you could fight Arman Zarukian, but I don't
That's
want
a
to do that
bad
to
choice.
anybody right now. Yeah, I mean, he's back into the
Armand
top
needs to
15.
fight Gregor. Armand Gillespie.
Yeah.
I'm in on that fight.
By the way, Connor is not ranked in our rankings. He is a Favre. He is a fighter also receiving vote. One jackass on our panel still voting for him. I'm not sure who. Doesn't need to be named. Someone's keeping him on the page. Don't worry about it. We don't need to say who it is. Neither do I. I don't know why I brought it up. Never mind.
one more question
keep
before
going.
we kind of go to kind of our whatever picks for tonight.
Wait, the broadcast hasn't even started yet, so we got
Okay.
time.
Then we're
Yeah. Keep it rolling.
AK, why don't you
we
give
talked
your
about it.
answer?
Yeah, I'll be quick.
Yeah,
We talked
go
about
ahead.
this
Give your
yesterday.
answer.
How many fights? One. One, but it has to be a knockout tonight. It has to be like a first round knockout. Very impressive. Do the great, get a big knockout. Do the great call out. Because again, after Cannonier, who should be, it hasn't become official yet. Obviously, Cannonier gets that next title shot against Izzy. If Izzy is sticking around at 185 for the foreseeable future, he does need another challenger. And he's fought almost everyone else that's in between, that's sort of in the top 15. So I'm like, and some of those rematches are really fun. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see some of those rematches, but he's already had a couple of those. So just do the Pereira fight while you can. The buzz is there. The buzz was there when Pereira got signed. And then you just need to see, like, you need to have a little bit of proof in that pudding, right? So
he's not even on the main card on a fight night, and he's gonna go.
Neither was
on the main card.
Neither was Marina Rodriguez. Sorry.
He is opening the main card.
Yeah, Marina Rodriguez isn't getting a title fight.
She will. I mean, I think she will
eventually,
soon. She might. But he is opening the main card against Bruno Silva. But yeah, I say just do it. I say one fight. That's one fight for me. The iron is hot. Just do it.
It's not that hot.
To clarify,
it's not that hot.
It's pretty hot.
To clarify, you're
it's,
saying
it's warm.
You're saying with a win tonight, or win tonight, he gets a title eliminator.
No. I say just give him that title shot.
Win
if he gets
tonight,
a big knockout tonight.
Just
do it. Throw him in. Who cares?
That's spicy, and I love it.
Aside from Cannonier,
that's incredible. He's not even top 15 on anyone's poll. Not even in his own rankings. He's not even top 15.
Who do you want to see get the title fight after Cannonier? Who do you want to see get the title fight if he beats Cannonier?
After he beats Cannonier, let me look at the rankings.
I mean, it's not going to be Sean Strickland.
Why not? Why would he leapfrog Sean Strickland?
I'd rather see Pereira Adesanya.
But why would you rather see it? What are you talking about?
Because I like they have that one clip.
So what are all these other fights for? What are all these other middleweight fights for?
Just getting paychecks. Just getting paychecks. We know win streaks. How many?
Oh damn! All right.
It's starting.
They are not messing around. They turn the broadcast on, and both fighters are already in the cage. So
they're gonna have to. They've got a lot of fights to get through before 7.
Oh yeah, this is 8. Yeah,
both fighters are already in it. All right,
that is one of the most insane things he said.
Here we go.
61%. Marlon Moraes. 61%. He needs to win the most.
Joe Martinez getting the ring announcing.
Yeah, Joe Martinez is best.
AK. I assume you're going with Alex Pereira against Bruno Silva, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Casey.
I am going Pereira, but he would not be getting a title shot after this fight. That's just ridiculous.
Jed.
Pereira, I think it's closer than the book has it, but Pereira.
Yes, I agree. Pereira will not be getting a title fight because he's going to lose to Bruno Silva.
I love that.
Definitely get a title fight. Because think of that storyline.
TKO. Well, he might still get one coming off of a loss.
According to this guy's logic.
Jed, Drew Dober versus Terrence McKinney.
Taking the upset, McKinney decision.
Casey.
Also, same thing. I'm going McKinney, kind of a grindy decision.
AK.
McKinney sub round 1.
Woo!
Wow. This was the toughest pick of all.
Spice.
I'm going Drew Dober decision.
Respect.
I just think.
Oh,
yeah,
I mean, a smart pick.
I don't see McKinney winning a decision. I think if this gets out of the first round, this is where things will get really interesting. I think Dober can take over. Khalil Roundtree versus Carl Roberson. Another interesting fight here, Casey.
I have confidence in Mr. Roundtree. Knockout by just extreme violence.
I'm going with that as well. AK.
Roundtree drops the first round, gets the knockout in round 2.
Jed.
This was the hardest fight for me to call. I watched all of the tape. Roberson, it's a coin flip, but I'm taking Roberson. I think he's slightly better.
Yeah, Roberson will be cornered by James Krause, AK. So keep that in mind.
Oh no.
Alex Caceres, can he keep the streak alive, AK, against Sodiq Yusuff?
It ends here. A competitive fight and a Yusuff decision.
Casey.
I'm going for Mr. Bruce Leroy for no real good reason.
Jed?
Taking Yusuff, but I respect that Alex Caceres has made a really good career out of being super weird, and nobody can fight him well because he's weird.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. He's weird. It's hard to fight him.
Yeah.
I think Sodiq Yusuff gets a knockout here. I think he's going to be healthy as hell. He's ready to go. And I think Caceres, I mean, you've seen in almost every fight Caceres has had during the streak. He's been rocked at least once, except for like some of the short notice ones. So I don't see Sodiq making any mistakes. like past opponents have made. Raise your hand if you're picking Song Yadong. We're all Marlon Moraes, I assume. The rest of us.
I'm picking
Marlon
Song
Moraes.
Yadong.
Yeah. Moraes.
Marlon Moraes.
Moraes. I still believe
okay.
in him. I still believe in him.
Yep.
And I'm a big Song Yadong fan, but I still believe in Marlon Moraes.
Song's 24,
All right.
getting better. He packs
Yes.
heat.
He is. This is true. It's all true.
Raise your hand if you're picking Thiago Santos. Bueller.
Chat.
Anyone?
Raise your hands. Hand emoji. Chat.
Do you have a
Chat.
poll?
Don't
Do we have a poll?
don't-
Main event poll?
It's
Very-
too late. It's too late. There's no time.
Low key, Thiago Santos has not been fun to watch fight since John Jones. I think he's really washed.
Dude,
And even
this-
that fight wasn't very fun to watch either.
I
Remember,
give
it
him
actually
a
wasn't
break
like a super
because he
exciting
did not have functioning knees in
Yeah,
that fight.
Yeah, no, it was
but-
Neither knee.
it was
Yeah.
like
the fight's
what's the word I'm
bad.
looking- intense. It was intense. Like it was definitely like
Yeah.
I was watching the fight. And I was like locked in, but I would not
on
go
the,
back and
on
watch.
the edge of your seat because this man who doesn't have functioning knees might upset
Yeah.
John Jones is incredible, but he is not like this fun KO guy anymore. He sits back a lot, tries to counter, isn't particularly good at it. I think
I
he's
feel
kinda
kind of-
washed. I'm glad
I-
to roll him.
on fight night, I was a bit embarrassed to admit it, but like I thought Santos won against John.
Oh, I
Jones.
did on fight night.
Okay.
I was
a lot of
like,
people
Maybe
did.
on
A lot of
maybe
people-
on another viewing, I was just I had John Jones kind of too high, like I expected him to dominate, but I actually watching it live, I was like, I think Santos won. I was expecting
didn't
Santos to get his hand
anything.
raised.
John
Sorry.
did not do anything in that fight, so it wasn't unreasonable.
But the problem is now
for
that
Santos to win.
yeah, exactly. If Santos had done a little bit more, I think he clearly would have won the fight. The problem is he also didn't do much. So again, because he was injured, obviously. But
physically
yeah,
couldn't.
it's just yeah.
Oh, I don't have knees.
Oh,
Bro,
no
who
excuses.
needs
No,
knees to fight John
no
Jones.
excuses. No excuses. Play like a champion. Come on.
On
No
Tapology,
excuses.
real quick,
Get outta
this
here.
is crazy for a main event. Supposedly supposed to be a competitive main event. 94% of
I was gonna say
fans
it's
are
best
picking
94%.
Ankalaev. That's incredible.
Ankalaev,
94%.
He might be the champ by the end of the year. The dude's
Possibly.
serious.
I hope
Dude is
so because
serious.
I'll be washing Sean in our bet. We had
All right.
to do pick champs, and Ankalaev was my dark horse. If he does it, I'm killing that man.
All right, that's it. We are almost 4 minutes into the first fight. Azamat Mirzakhanov taking on Tafan Nchukwi. Henry Cejudo would have a rough time trying to pronounce these names. So
Just explodes.
enjoy the action. Jed and I will jump on Twitter Spaces in a couple hours for the final couple prelims, and then we'll be back with post-fight show after that. So for Casey, for Jed, for AKI, Mike Hack, enjoy the fights, everybody.